They were out front of Pottery Barn or Williams-Sonoma, one of those, wherever those traffic lights are, and looking in the windows. But as you just turn and you look either way, we turned, and there at the stoplight was a car and a bicyclist, a cyclist, and they were stopped at the lights. And the first thing I certainly noticed was the cyclist was, my first image, as I recall, was pulling up in front of the car and had a smile on his face. The cyclist did. A cyclist, not a smile saying I'm happy, but I'm going to piss you off type of smile to the driver, and pulled his bike right in front of the hood, blocking his way. And it was weird because you saw that there was an altercation going on. You could just see it. It was, I don't know where it started. I don't know how it began, but certainly there was an altercation taking place. And I looked at the car. It was a convertible. And I did say last night, my wife thought it was a BMW, but I told the police officer it was a black Saab convertible. I did say that prior to seeing the news. And I noted there were two people in the car, a man and a woman. And the thing that really struck me, even at that point in time, was there was no verbal altercation between the two. Absolutely none. The driver was stone-faced, passive, and the woman was also just sitting there. So there was certainly not any screaming at this point in time between the two parties. So the guy was, the cyclist, as I said, was right in front of the car. And I didn't know if the lights had changed, but certainly the car then moved forward very slowly onto his back wheel. And the guy, the cyclist, fell off his bike. And again, the thing that again just strikes me is, we've all been guilty of certainly getting frustrated with other drivers and so on. Some expletives and so on, but there was no dialogue at all. The fella fell off his bike. He went up. He got up, picked up his bike, got on his bike again, and for some reason, the car then accelerated at a very high speed and knocked the fella onto the front of his car. It was at that point when you think to yourself, in retrospect, when you think back on it, that this is where the guy should have just said, the driver, in my opinion, should have just said, this is not worth it. I'm going to get out of here, and I'll scream and yell at my wife or whatever later on. But this is where, so he hit him. He hit him full on at high speed. The cyclist obviously fell off the car and fell onto the driver's side of the car. The bike then was in the middle of the road. The guy got up and the car started to move away. And I would say that the cyclist did, I don't know if it was, I can't recall if he was running or walking very fast in terms of the distance as to when the car started to move, and the cyclist ran after the car. And then, but the car had to maneuver around the bike, which would naturally take him diagonally into the other side of the road, although he wasn't there yet because this was before the utility vans and so on and so forth. The cyclist then somehow latched onto the car, and from what I saw, he had his hand inside the car, and it was either on the headrest or on the driver's door, on the inside of the driver's door, and that's when the car just the fellow put his foot maximum gas and took this cyclist away with him. My wife was was obviously screaming at the or long before that. She'll tell you her side, but and then as the car it dragged him, and there were sparks coming out from under the car. The fellow was not letting go, and to be honest with you, I mean, it's one of those things when you look at it and you think, well, if he lets go, he may have a chance, with some severe damage. But that car was going very, very fast. So the inevitable culmination of something like this is that there was going to be, and then it swerved going west onto the other side of the road because there's roadworks there. And that's where, when it went in front of the first utility van parked closer to Avenue Road, is when we lost sight of the end result.
And how would you describe the style of driving that you saw from the driver?
I mean, I think. I mean, it's almost, broken down to stages, right? I think the first time when he nudged his tire was like, look, you ass, this is, I'm just going to show you, sort of thing, and then after that, it was, he hit the guy. He as far as I'm concerned, and I'll say it anywhere, he purposely hit that guy, and as far as I'm concerned, he could have, like all of us. I mean, I'm as bad as anyone else in terms of, getting frustrated with people on the road. But, you make a decision, right, at a point in time where you can either, but he had an opportunity. He certainly had an opportunity that second time to. It's not like the guy ran in front of the car to be hit by the car. Mm-hmm. He hit him full on.
Okay. Did you have
Hello, my husband's actually called in. He's on the phone right now telling the number plate.
Okay, he's already.
We want to get someone down here because the guy is bleeding like hell and he's on.
Oh, no, we're already on our way. We're already on our way.
Like, it's the guy who was driving the car. I can't even begin to tell you what a idiot. Like, he was like out to kill this guy.
Okay, and he's
on purpose. Like, it was hideous. He took him out maybe 3 times. This guy clung to his car and he drove on the wrong side of the road with the guy trying to fling him off.
Okay,
and there's blood everywhere.
And he's left the scene?
Oh yeah, of course he has. He had a woman in the car. It's a black